Hey guys, it's Al from Altruistic Channel. I just wanted to kind of touch base with you guys and explain a little bit more in depth what I've been working on as I kind of reintroduce the concept behind altruistic channels. And as you know, it's very philanthropic and geared towards raising the collective energy on leadership and making leaders come together and rally under sometimes controversial topics and making us kind of united in our attempts to further our purpose in this world and what our legacy will be for humanity. And so, one of the things that I was doing is that I began writing my second book, the follow up to A Dual Purpose, which you can find on Amazon.com. But this one was geared more towards I had let go of who I was, and this is now who I am. And so from that, I wanted to kind of just read to you, now that things are moving rather quickly, and I feel like everything's about to happen in the right context at the right time, what I've been waiting for. I wanted to kind of give you a tease, if you will, as to what to expect. And so I'm going to read to you what I wrote for, and this is raw. Keep in mind, this is not edited by anyone. This is just raw as to how I wrote it initially. And so I'm going to share with you the preface and the foreword so that you have a general idea as to what it is that I represent. So here, without further ado, I call it tentatively, the book is called A King with No Kingdom. As I lay there convulsing in pain from the ongoing agony of the suicide attempt, a single thought shot through me so strongly that it surpassed all the pain that surrounded it. I was not allowed to die. I was stuck in this world, and there was nothing I could do about it. I had signed away my free will in a soul contract. The realization was so severe that as I vomited the last of the pill remnants, it would be what would make me lurch up in an attempt towards the bathroom. But the weight of my soul was so heavy it brought me crashing back down onto my head, and I would once again revisit that space I'd grown to know so well from my previous 2 trips there, the in-between. When I awoke, the apartment reeked of all that played out in the events that preceded this awakening. And try as I might to get up, I would find myself paralyzed in fear. I struggled to make sense of movement of time, but I was too dehydrated and the dizziness was too strong. I fell in and out of consciousness, but with each awakened state, the clarity, the only thing to gain momentum was my desire to be eliminated, and not just in physical form, but as an energy source itself. I never wanted to live in any form again, and had begun increasingly to pray that God would grant me the mercy of accommodating that final request. Instead, the smell of my own fluids began to play an opposing factor in making me rally, and would prove the final push I needed to rise up and meet the next phase of my journey, what I would come to understand as my ascension. Unaware of what I was experiencing, it would become my life, and it would become my journey into my soul's journey into night. Forward. One of the hardest aspects to leadership is coming to grips with your shortcomings and learning to be gentle with yourself as you confront them. No matter how much experience you leverage to position yourself in the best possible light, a single negative statement or comment will be the one thing you remember about the whole process, and will be what you perceive to be of value and what you needed to learn from. The truth is that's not entirely the case, is it? Emerson wrote of the idea that an idiot would only need shed some light on the crude walls of his mind to see that the answers were already strewn across the galleys of intellect. After 20 years in business, that has never appeared more true to me than it is right now. Perspective is both savior and damnation to us all. It can send us into creation incarnate or shackle us to the purgatory of limitations and self-doubt. As a subjective process, it is our personal interpretation to the stimuli we encounter based on our sensory intake of it. But that's not where that ends. Our experience is singular, in that no other being on this planet would experience the process in the same way as you do, as no 2 brains process or perceive the same stimuli in the same way. Making matters more singular in nature, as we age, we begin taking these aspects of experience and create what we call human reality. But as you can see, it is anything but real. It is an interpretation of what is, and no more important to anyone else you encounter than your dreams. Both scenarios are created within the scope of what you understand the world to be, and as a result, what you envision it to look like. It should then come as no surprise that it also comes to hold your understanding of how you fit in to this world and into imprisonment. In the end, you thereby are the creator of what you will encounter, and so you are then the only energy source